Well, it's summertime again and time for summertime road trips. This is the chance we get to go hit the open road and enjoy ourselves on a vacation. But part of that as EV owners is we're going to be stopping at charging stations along the way to recharge our car. So let's go over a few items here in the area of EV charging etiquette. Hi there, my name is Mike. I'm from Greenway Electric, and I wanted to go over a few etiquette items that we have here for electric vehicle drivers as they charge at public charging stations. Now, before I get into my list, I just wanted to say if you have any ideas of charging etiquette, I'd really like to hear your suggestions. So just leave me a comment down below. And if you did find this video interesting or informative, I appreciate it if you can give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. So the first item that I need to say is at an electric vehicle charging station, please make sure you don't park there unless you're actually charging. I have seen a few instances where electric vehicle owners struggle to find a parking spot and they decide, well, it says it's for electric vehicles, so I might as well just park there, but they don't actually need to charge. And what you're doing by doing that is, yes, you did find yourself a spot to charge, or to park. But if you're not actively charging, you're going to be blocking someone who really might need that charger and might need to recharge their car and maybe kind of stuck for a charging station if they couldn't find anything around. So please make sure to not park your car in a charging station unless you're actually charging. Going right along with that same idea is when you've completed charging your car, please do move it to a different parking spot if you don't need to continue on your journey right away. And the reason for that, again, is just because you want to make sure to leave those charging stations as available as possible for others who might be coming along. I suppose it's maybe a little less urgent if there's 6 or 8 or 10 empty spots beside you, but still it's the polite thing to do to move your car out of the way if you're done charging and allow others the opportunity to charge their vehicle. The next EV charging etiquette I would say that's really important is please don't unplug someone else's vehicle that is at the charging station. I think that may be super rude. So I would avoid doing that if at all possible. Now, there are some apps where you can check in. What I mean is when you plug in your car, you can go online and say, hey, I'm at this charger. And you might even leave notes for your fellow EV drivers. So there's a website called plugshare.com. You can do a check-in. You can say, hey, I'm charging at this charging station. I only need to be charging until 5 p.m. And if you arrive after 5 p.m., feel free to unplug me and charge your car. But I'll still keep my car plugged in if no one else is coming along that needs the charge. So you might leave notes like that, or you can even leave your phone number. Another good thing is that you leave your phone number on your dash. And so if anyone needs to get a hold of you, just leave your phone number on your dash there and they might come along and have questions. It can be, depending on the vehicle, you can tell sometimes or not tell if it's actually charging, or maybe the charging station itself will say whether it's charging or not. And it may have stopped charging because it failed for some reason, or maybe there was a fault, or maybe stopped charging because the car was full. Now, of course, if the car is full, then, can you unplug the car? I'd still be pretty hesitant to do that because I don't want to be have my hands on someone else's property. But if you're in a super desperate spot and the other car is full and the owner doesn't seem to be around and you really need a charge, yeah, I suppose I could see unplugging their car and plugging your car in would be okay. But you just have to be super cautious. You got to make sure, are you 100% sure that they're done charging, or did that charge just fail? Because what happens is if you unplug it and it failed, because it failed, and then you plug your car and you go away and go shopping, and then the owner comes back and sees your car plugged in and his car isn't done charging yet, he's probably going to think the worst, right? So you want to be extra careful with that. So again, leave a note on what you did, or leave your phone number and you can touch base with them. Really, I think it's just the polite thing to do. The next item I wanted to talk about is charger faults, and I kind of mentioned that already. Sometimes chargers will not work for whatever reason. The app might not work, or they might not accept payment, or there's other issues or connectivity problems and it tries and it doesn't work. So often to fix the problem, you can just move to another charging station that will work after that. But while you're waiting for your car to charge, I would encourage you to phone the manufacturer or the supplier of the charging equipment and inform them that charging station X is not working right now or didn't work on my car. Because what'll happen is over time, if no one reports the incidents or issues with the charging stations, is they may start to fail, and then you'll be in a situation where none of the charging stations work or only one works, and the charging company had no idea that there was problems with the other stations. Meantime, you may have a line of EV drivers wanting to recharge their car, or other issues may arise that way. So you want to let the charging company know that there's a problem with the charging station that you are trying to use. Another item that I find that happens to me fairly regularly when I go to the charging station is that it may be the first time or second time for new EV owners to use a public charging station, and they might be a little bit confused or unsure of how to do it or to activate the charging station. So once I got my car charging, I might just wave at the fellow EV driver next door and say, hey, is everything good? Are you able to get the charging started? Do you need a hand with anything? And sometimes they'll say, no, I'm all good, everything is fine. But other times they'll say, you know what, I just can't get this to work. You know, it's an app or their credit card or something, or who knows what it is. But if you've been driving EV for a long time, you've probably run into some of these problems. You might be able to help them out. And I'm sure they'd really appreciate you helping them out and getting their charge in their car and getting them on their way. The last item that comes to mind is once you're done charging your vehicle, once you're getting it unplugged, some of those charging stations have a fairly long cable, and you just want to be kind and coil up that cord appropriately and have it hanging there for the next person. You especially want to take care of the end or the charging cable end to not damage any of the connections there, and make sure you don't drop it in the gravel or the dirt, and keep it clean. So if there's a holster or somewhere you can put it into, you want to put it in there. It'll be protected from the rain and dust and dirt, and it'll be there all set up for the next EV driver. I really appreciate it when the previous person has done that for me, because sometimes I've come to a charging station and the cable just laying on the ground, and I've had to clean out the contacts on the end of the cable. Doesn't happen very much, but I do find sometimes that the cable just kind of strewn about everywhere. And while it still works, it's just not as nice to come to a charging station that looks like that as it is if it's coiled up nicely and stored properly and the care has been taken. So those are some ideas that I had for charging station etiquette on road trips in the summer. If you have any ideas that you think we should add to this list, please leave them in the comments. And if you found this video informative or helpful, I appreciate a thumbs up, and consider subscribing for future videos. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.